Hey folks, how you doing again? This is Garth with TCP Incorporated, and you can find us at tcpperformance.com for your cooling products needs. Got the Yamaha Rhino fan shroud here that we built. We designed this a couple of years back when we found that the Yamaha Rhinos from 04 to about 07, they hadn't put a fan shroud on there, and we were really seeing some heating issues with those, and found that this was a pretty efficient way to resolve some of those issues. It's pretty amazing the difference that this little shroud will make on that radiator in order to cool you down. We've got a Rhino radiator here I'd like to show you. It's the stock radiator. We also build a heavy-duty triple pass that we'll be showing you in another video for those who like to do some modification to your side-by-sides and squeeze a little more horsepower out of them, but still keep them cooled down. The way these are set up, and it's not showing on this one because we don't have them on here, but there are some clips that just slide over here, and you've got some screws that basically hold your fan on in this position when it's mounted on your Rhino. The problem with this is that really you're only pulling air through this area right here. The reason that's such a big problem is that when you sit down and figure out how much core surface that this area and this area add up to, it's about twice as much. And so you know, you look at most of your cars and trucks, and they all have fan shrouds, and it only made sense to us that when you're running around at slower speeds and whatnot, that you would benefit from a fan shroud. So what we done is you take this off of here, and you take the fan shroud and turn it this direction and set it right on top of there. And as I said, I don't have the clips that go in there, but if you did, you'd reuse your bolts and leave the clips on there that were holding the fan on, and you'd put them in. And then you take this fan, and where it was sitting like this previously, you'd take and rotate it 90 degrees and line these holes up with these nut zerts that we have in here that we provided. We also provide you these 1/4 inch bolts with a flat washer so that you can line them up and mount them on. Makes it kind of nice. I don't know if you can see this or not, but your fan has a little slotted hole on this end, which makes it nice to be able to have a little bit of play there, so you can get these in. So I'll get these started in there and kind of show you how this goes together. Anyway, I'm not going to snug them all down tight, but that's basically how it works. And with those nut zerts, you get a real good tight. You can tighten her down really nice and get it good and snug. It's on there solid once you get this tightened down, and it really makes a big difference. You're able to pull all that air through the whole core and really benefit from moving that air across the rest of the radiator core. We done some testing on this particular product, just kind of in the shop here. It was on a fairly warm day, not hot. It was probably about 80-85 degrees, and we run the Rhino at an idle and let it get good and warm until it started cycling the fan. And as it cycled the fan, we timed it to see the amount of run time that the fan was off and that it was on. And as we run it, we found that without the fan shroud, that the fan would run for 1 minute, and then it would be off for 1 minute. And so we checked it for, we run the test for about an hour, and it was almost where you could set your watch by it. You could almost clock it to where it was within, a second to a second and a half of the run times. So we pulled it apart and put it together with this fan shroud on here, and then mounted the fan and run it at that point. And when we did, we found something kind of interesting. It was able to, what would happen is the fan would run for 30 seconds and then off for a minute. So basically what it done is it had cut the run time of the fan completely in half. And so what that told us was that it was able to cool that radiator down in half the time by having the shroud on here. You might ask yourself, what that's going to do for me? Save the life of my fan? Well, yeah, it will. It'll do that. It'll make the fan last a little longer. But the other thing that it will do is it will be able to run twice as long if needed to, and pull off twice the amount of heat. And it's interesting, like I was saying, when you do the calculations on the amount of surface area here that is being wasted, of air not being moved through it, it's about twice the surface area. So thus cutting the runtime in half. This little fan is quite the little fan. They move a lot of air. They're a well-built little fan. They got a pretty good motor on them. They're running the skewed blade or the S blade, and for stock application, we've had a lot of people use these. We've sold literally hundreds of them, and people have found them to resolve their heating issues, most generally in stock applications. They've been able to push it over the edge to where it was able to keep it cool and keep their temps running well. We sold a lot in the southern states. We found that down there they've worked really well for us. So if you're in a situation where you're having a little bit of a heating issue and you need to maybe cool it off a little bit, this is something to take a look at. They're available on our website. We sell them for $54.99, and the shipping on it, we ship them USPS priority for $9.85 anywhere in the U.S. here. We don't have a problem shipping out of the country. Of course, it costs a little more, but we ship USPS out of the country as well. You might want to just email us for a quote if you have questions about the shipping there. Once again, it's been good visiting with you. I hope that you've enjoyed this video and found it helpful. We'll be doing a video really soon on the installation of the radiator once you put the fan shroud on. We found some people having a few questions about it. We felt like maybe doing an instructional video would be helpful. So we're going to be having that come up pretty soon. So watch for it. It's a pretty easy install and goes pretty well. This is Garth signing off, and with TCP Incorporated. Find us on the web at tcp.performance.com, and look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.